Sometimes I need to say, you and you're not alone. You take my love in the storm, places where I said, time is always there at the same. You're the reason at the shopping time. Or take, say, you stop, so I can try. Sure, to be hands. So just see,
Carrying crew, Peter Bartlett, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, Asia, Africa, Europe. Good morning to you, Mr. Noel. I am CJ and you are?
Jester.
That's who we are.
Simply just.
And it is Tuesday, the 18th day of November 2025. Just we are speeding down the calendar year.
Yeah.
And it is another day for Take 5 with CJ and Jester, your mental health program. So what gives?
Well, let me take the opportunity to say a special good morning to the listeners and viewers of this very unique program entitled Take 5. Get your therapy mentally.
Mentally.
Yeah.
We get it. Therapy mentally. And believe me, these days we need all the therapy mentally, because I mean a lot of stuff is going on in our lives these days that we don't even know which corner to turn in or anything of that sort. So while we wait for Kenro to call in or whoever else wants to call in, let me say good morning to the people that are already online. We have Olavachi, buongiorno. Hope all is well with you. And just you can start saying good morning to your peeps and more.
Yeah, let me say good morning to Gordon Bushes, Richardson, Leslie, Nicholas, Winter, John, and all these folks I'm calling in the US.
What's up, Greg?
Yeah. I to Dubois. The Gleans family out there in Boston. You know, I sing lot, so it's Boston this time.
Boston always remember.
Yeah.
Did you say good morning to Andy Moose Boston? Where's that?
Andy Moose Boston. Yes, just in case I have missed out on him. Yeah, not so long ago.
And then you're coming back home and say good morning.
Yeah, good morning to the Hill Street people. In fact, I saw.
So it was Monday, yeah. So you were here.
I saw yesterday. Yeah, she asked me what I call engineer.
I don't think at all.
Yes, so I usually hear all what you're saying. Yes.
That's special listens. That's an ardent listener of ours. You know?
So I said,
Paris.
so I said, why is it introducing good my dude? She said, we didn't do what I was saying for money.
You see, she have you pregnant.
Oh, God.
She pregnant.
See, why is not married?
And you come and keep saying good morning before you forget who they are.
My whole people, that's clear. Yeah. Miss Gladys Murray.
Yes.
Was Miss Vicessa. Yeah, good morning to you.
And
good morning to Michelle Universali. Yeah.
And Trisha, is it?
Trisha, yeah.
Yeah, see, I know people more than you know your people.
Yeah.
So let me also say good morning to Madam Klein, Stephen Harry Douglas, good morning to you. Bernadette Abraham in the Boston Tea Party. Coffee in the morning, good morning to you. Daphne Date and the family out there in Toronto. It is as cold as ever I am hearing. Jenny, good morning. I'm not sure if you fly to the other part of North America as yet, but if you're in Toronto, good morning to you. Good morning to Lorna Bain. Mary, this Chansey Gamer 97, good morning. Junior up on the hill in the Grande Tang area. Good morning to Duchess, Alban Harris, Mr. Nicholas Snag. Good morning to Kenro. We are awaiting your call. Good morning to Pat Pear and family, which is William Pear. I think he's out there in Toronto. Hobby Pear. Good morning to Shama Abra. Wells, SBW. Good morning to Buddy out there in the lane. Good morning to you. Hope all is well. Kathleen Ledlow. Royal Charles Alexander, Joycelyn Noel, Antonio Francois. Good morning to the University under the Ask your three people, the dean, the principal, the assistant dean, everybody. Good morning to Rejuvenate and Anne Bernard. Good morning to Ito, Bushies. That's all the people that just already called that's out there in the Big Apple. Good morning to you guys. Good morning to Sherry in Maryland and Wendy out there in Toronto. So these are all our good morning people. If we remember as we go along, we'll continue to say good morning. Just waiting for my peeps there to check in online. Celia, if you're listening, good morning. Cameron, Paul, Victor, good morning to you. Hillary and Grandpa, Dudu, good morning. If you're going to listen, if you're listening, you're going to be checking in this morning. Just checking in to say hello to. And people, please like, share, and subscribe to our Take 5 program. It is getting better and better every day because we are coming up with more and more topics that is going to benefit each and every one of us. So please share, like it, and subscribe to our program. We really, really and truly do appreciate it. Jester, think and don't forget us. This morning, would you like to do the honor of saying good prayer to the Almighty for bringing us here this morning? Really, yes, I'm. That's it.
Right, guys, let's put ourselves in the proper frame of mind as we relate to the Almighty Father. Heavenly Father, we thank you once more as you have caused us to rise from the bed this morning. It's not by chance, it's only because of your involvement and your indulgence, most merciful Father in heaven, God. And so we ask of your mercies upon us as we continue to face the challenges of life, as we journey along life's pathway today. God, you are in control of everything. And as we bring this program before you, we ask you to guide the minds, help us to edify our nation so that they can benefit from this program. I ask this through your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. See, you see how beautiful you can pray. You should continue.
Well, you should continue. You should walk on yourself when it comes to that. Should you ashamed?
What should I do?
You are the one that goes to church every Sunday.
And?
Well, I know that. I don't say that. And it's for the rest of people out there to figure out the hand. They will figure out the hand.
I want to have it. Why would I do it myself? You know, I am there.
Like, seriously. You try that.
I'm trying. I'm not trying anything. I'm not trying anything.
That's something for me, girl. Yeah, something else for me. That's the only way I excuse it. I don't come in now when you're too hard.
Really? You're totally afraid. You know, let me say good morning to my Jester and Joe.
Joe joins in.
Huh?
He joins in.
No, he did. He was working on the system last night.
Oh.
I'm telling you, I every day I say, you know, I say this, but you know, it surprises me a whole lot because sometimes I don't even ask for things and it just go on the system and it does. You see the one that I posted yesterday, the if you ever looked at it, did you see?
I didn't even watch it. I'm stressing my request. Yeah, I know, I get through. It seems as if I may have to get a new transmission.
Oh, no.
God, we're in this sometimes. Just not take it out. Just deal with it. Have to deal with it and have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't make sense.
My strength comes from the Almighty. No matter what, He provides.
Yes.
So
Victor has just checked in. He says, "Good morning, good prayer, Jester." I thought it was Pastor praying. How can somebody can feel good like that?
No, I pray night and day. So praying is a usual thing for me.
So who does not pray night and day?
I don't know. I just see. Why are you taking offense?
Are you taking offense to me? I pray night and day.
Does it just fit you? Right. I can't enjoy the street.
So say thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. You didn't give me a chance to say thank you. You just bought in.
Damn Wednesday, I'm in the middle. Yes. Yeah. So, what's the open? I see they have children in the park. You know what's going on?
Well, as I tell you, next year, please God, the athletic season would be a very early one. In fact, they're actually into the athletics season already, which climaxes, right?
Is it?
The day of the track event, when it climaxes, but all now it starts because already some school have certain events like road race, and you know, some of them might be doing field events already. You just never know. So we actually into the athletic season, and I tell you, it's going to be very, very early next year because remember, based on how Easter is falling, it's falling much earlier this year. As a result of that, the character games will be held very early in April, and we are hosting it. All right. So we're hosting it, 2 games in 3 years,
Yeah.
We hosted it in 2023. Went to Trinidad earlier this year.
Yeah.
No, so we hosted it in 2024. Trinidad hosted it in 2025, and it's coming back to us in 2026.
Against the Love Spice Country?
Well, yeah, you know, and I'm happy about that because I believe Grenada is really on the rise when it comes to sports. Especially when it comes to athletics. These days, we have made some tremendous strides in track and field. You know, remember names like Kieran James and Anderson,
Peters,
Lyndon Victor, you know, and so.
I've been passing one day and I'm not listening to people's conversation, but my I hear somebody says, well, all countries refuse character games. Why did Grenada take it on? So I don't know if somebody could explain that for me, because sometimes they say that when countries hold Olympic Games and so they lose instead of gaining, the country does not prosper after you hold those big games because you spend so much money to prepare for it and you don't make back the amount of money that you spend, at least you lose. So I'm not sure if this is what they're talking about in regards to the character games.
No, let me give my personal opinion on that.
Okay, go right ahead.
All right, because everybody will tend to have their piece. All right. Now you can't look at it as a win, all right, from just that point of view.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? There are many other benefits that comes along, even if you feel that the country might tend to lose a bit financially. All right. So you're looking at the exposure, for example, for younger athletes. They are now being exposed to watching top athletes perform on a stage, which might be a big inspiration for them to get into, a big motivator. That is one. 2, you are creating a big economic spin-off for a lot of people that depends on a livelihood. So, for example, many people benefit. For example, the vendors, the hoteliers, the taxi people, the restaurants, the bars. Just name it. So you cannot just look at it just in no.
Gotcha. I understand what you're saying, but just like I just said, I heard. Good morning to Benedict Abraham. Hope all is well. Thank you so much for checking in. Lorna Bain, good morning. Lorna has checked in, Jester.
Good morning to you, Lorna.
Yes. Is it cold over there in the Tea Party, Benedict? It is cold in Chicago, it is cold in Toronto, it is cold in New York, it is cold, it is winter, it's cold everywhere, you know.
So what's up for the weekend? What's up for the weekend for you, man? We don't usually have a little chit chat something before we get into stuff.
What happened to the weekend? I don't know.
Yo, that touched it.
Every day's weekend for being. Yes.
You're right. You're sure right with that. You're sure right.
Yeah. Natalina, good morning. And good morning to you, Lorraine. Hope all is well. Just said drinking, grunting again. The lady that said drinking, grunting, she's on. Just drinking, grunting again. Do you want to know what is in yours this morning?
Grunting is very healthy, I mean.
Do you know what's in there this morning?
Just a bit of ginger, just a bit of banana.
Yeah, that's one of them. Asparagus and the Seymour's and cucumbers.
Oh my gosh, well. But you did not tell me, you know.
Because the banana is the last one I said. That's the last one I get in.
Every day is the last, man. Every day could be the last, you know. Oh, yeah, we are there too.
I made sure today.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have it, girl.
the weekend, it was a quiet weekend, as usual. Nothing, no fuss, no muss. You just do what you gotta do and stuff like that, and you move along.
Yeah.
The people that are partying, they must be partying. The people that don't party, they don't party, and that's it. When is football finish?
No, football is on, man. I do 40 plus at Rivalry is going on so strong, right? Deciding who will make it to the Big Eight. That tournament's supposed to climax around the 7th of December.
Oh, okay. That's not too far away,
No, sorry, not the 7th, the 14th actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the 14th. I think the first weekend in December is when the Wagiti will climax.
Okay.
All right, and I think making it to the semi-finals of the Wagiti, Paradise, yeah, they defeated that team from HGU 2-1 on Saturday in the quarterfinals. Also, there were win for Comahan FC over St. David's FC.
Okay.
And
they had football in Progress Park. What night was it? Last Saturday. Were you there?
Saturday gone?
Yeah.
No, it was a fun day. That was a fun night for the Ministry of Youth
it was,
and Sports.
Yeah.
It was a fun day.
You want to know where you're going Saturday night when I see that?
Yeah, you can tell me.
No, I'm not telling you. I was on a date.
I'm happy for you. I'm very happy for you.
We don't want to date on the weekend.
Yeah, that's very nice. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, be happy. So don't want to be happy saying. But I'm getting excited here because Bernadette Abraham said it is really cold wherever she is, which is in the Boston Tea Party. Nicholas Snag has checked in. He says, "Good morning to the Take 5 community." Guess who checked in again? Wifey Dubois. Wifey Dubois checking. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you so much for checking in. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to our Take 5 channel. We have a lot of things going on here that, people have to make people go, thinking about what's going on with their life and everything like that. We're not here, we're not therapists or anything, but when we do the research and we come up with the points that make us think, then we really and truly have to think about it.
And remember the topic we are discussing this morning. I must say that's the person that sent the topic. I just show the one in him to be mentioned.
That's all right. That's an ardent listener. Yes.
Claire, I just want to express my profound sympathies to the Mackenzie family of Celeste. Walter, Walter, that's the son of Ifrey. Took his own life by hanging. I must say, allegedly so. I would say
until it's proven,
autopsy and everything like that. And but it's really, really a sad, sad thing, and that is why this program would have come into effect, realizing of maybe the kind of stress and things some people might be going through in life, and we always try to urge them to excuse me,
talk
to somebody that is very confidential, based on what he or she is going through. I think allegedly, understand somebody hang themselves in South St. George police station by hanging
inside the police station.
Yeah, that is alleged. I'm not to fight.
Okay, let's be done until we hear.
Yeah, as I said, so I said quite rightly so, allegedly so. So it's we know we're living in some very tough times.
Very much so,
And sometimes if you allow the frustration to get just take for example what I'm just telling you what I'm going through.
In your car,
laugh it off. Just we like coming in, just here deal with it and just move on.
Because that's all you can do per se,
There's nothing you can do, and that makes some people feel sometimes, is somebody trying some witchcraft for years? That's like, what does make some people think?
Because once everything starts going wrong,
what it means, but to me, it is the way in which God tests your faith, in Him.
You see how much you can do?
And when things like that happen with me, Claire, I tend to just to remove.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Ask for his help and his guidance to deal with the situation rather than really feel otherwise, you know, because it's only he that can deal with the situation, you know, to keep you on a certain pathway. So that's how I usually deal with my situation really there.
Well, I mean,
You know,
you always have to pray for things, for guidance, or pray for patience, pray for everything, long suffering, endurance, everything. Because, as you say, we're going through so much in our lives these days. Every time you turn, something is knocking somewhere, and the first thing you might think is like somebody's out to get me. No, it's really out to get you. No, it just happens because. The thing, when things are being manufactured, it is not manufactured for life. We don't even have we don't even live forever right now in the system. You talk about dying, talk about somebody taking their lives and stuff like that. And speaking about Walter, when I heard that, I'm like, I don't know who Walter is. I can't remember. But I went back into my mind's eye, and I remember a cute little guy. His face, he had this nice face and nice nose, and he looks more like his mommy, I think, than anything else. And then my heart started to break all over again because I was sorry to hear that somebody took their own life at that age. And now that I know who he is, like it kind of hits you harder than if you did not know who the person was. So it is something. But you know what? We never know what anybody is going through. And as I say, you see people walking all the time and look as though everything is okay, but most times everything is really not okay.
Walter has a wealth of experience based on his what he went through in his life at a very, very early age. You understand? I believe he probably could have even write a book as well. Just as his sister did. You know, she did
my father's
Force Right. Force Right was the name of that book. I almost literally shed tears when I read that book, you know. Yeah. Honestly, what she and her brother have been through as a result of the decision of the father. You know what I'm saying, man? It's not easy.
Yeah.
Well, anyhow, let's talk something more.
We're going to do a program right now.
Joyful. No, we must make mention of McDonald College.
But the one that's something
they have already clinched the Stamalt knockout championship title in the of secondary school football. So congratulations to McDonald College. And they featured in 2 other finals. They are featured in the girls' league final. So McDonald College will be coming up against SAS, and I think this tournament, the cutting is supposed to be coming on this coming Friday. Usually they put all the finals at the stadium. I don't know if they will continue in that vein. And the senior boys in the league, they will be coming up against St. John's Christian Secondary School, because McDonald College defeated Happy Hill in the semi-finals yesterday at 4 goals to 1. Right, so the McDonald College junior boys are playing in the semi-final today against St. John's Christian Secondary School. So
your son is in the...
Oh, yes.
Okay. I just asked him
I really have to put on myself. I'm going to look at the game starts at 3 p.m. So I'm looking forward to it.
And I said we're going to St. George's today.
Certainly not. You can't make plans behind my back.
I don't make any plans behind. I said we go to St. George's. You say no, and that's it. I go to St. George's myself. Simple as that. You know, you think I depend on you somewhere. I don't know why you
operate like that.
What do you mean operate?
Did you ever watch I should have known that in truth. Right, so
I don't normally just tell you just let's do this. I ask first and then you tell me no and yes and all this kind of thing. And I say no more smooth, you know. Oh, good.
Well, tell you.
So today we are talking about siblings rivalry over parents' estate or the property, and can this be avoided? You know, sometimes just like a parent have 3, 4, 5 children, and they did not do the right thing while they were alive, and in death they leave a whole mass of confusion behind.
Yeah.
And this is what sibling rivalry is all about, because something, well, I I looked after mom, I looked after that, I had nurses, I buy the diapers, I did this, I did that. So I should get more when it comes to the inheritance. Others might say, well, I am the oldest, I'm supposed to get more because I had to look after you guys when dad was gone and mom alone was here and it just was just me. So it's a whole different kettle of fish when someone is alive and when they pass on. So today we are going to deal with sibling rivalry over when the parents pass, and can this be avoided? And it can be avoided, so we'll dig into it.
But before you go on, Clay, here are some pointers into it. What usually happens, we'll find that some parents have a favorite. That would help create some problem because you know how children can be. That sort of jealousy steps in.
Yes.
Parents and some children, but the bad talk. Some of the other siblings, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Then you have the that of greed and jealousy, you know, on sibling and part towards others, and you know, these lead to fights and quarrels among themselves, and in some instances, it even lead to murder. You know, so,
the time.
You know, I just wanted to make.
You know, every time you phone that way because every time you go off screen, eh?
Oh, sorry.
So keep it in front of you if you could see. Put on your glasses because every time you bend forward, you go off screen.
No, so, see, I had to change from where I had that pointers from come to WhatsApp. Okay. Now I have to go back to where I have
we still have it in front of you. Yeah. So good morning to Kathleen Ledo. Kathleen Ledo has checked in. So hope all is well.
Kathleen Ledlow.
Yes.
Ledlow. Well, Led must be low. It's
a unique surname.
Very unique. Very unique.
And we also thank her so much for checking in.
Yeah.
So when she can. So here what it says. Siblings dispute over a parent's estate are common and can be emotionally taxing. But careful planning and communication can help prevent conflicts. This is what we're talking about. If they plan early. Some parents, unfortunately, and it's bad, but it's true, that they have their children and they watch the way they act while the parent is alive, and they can see from a distance, not like watching from here. They can see from in the future how their children are going to behave if the person is no longer there. So instead of doing the right thing by going to the lawyers or going to the bank or go wherever and do a trust or get a power of attorney, they're just dead and they leave it and they say, let them fight for it. So they really and truly are causing the chaos that some families go through because they willingly did not do what was right in the eyes of the children. So they leave them to fight. And I guess as my daughter said, survival of the fittest then.
But we don't continue early. Sorry if I did continue.
No, you didn't. Go ahead.
It happened even before.
Like that's what I'm saying.
Died.
So that's what they see it, and that's why they leave it for them to fight, kill yourselves.
Yeah, and I believe in that instances, we must make a lot of mention of the situation whereby the parents are still alive, but yet siblings are still. Yeah.
So here it says the common causes of disputes. Emotional stress. The death of a parent is a significant emotional event, and unresolved sibling rivalries can resurface during this time, leading to conflicts over inheritance. So conflicts start already. Vague wills. If a parent's will is unclear or does not specify how assets should be divided, it can lead to disagreements among siblings about what they believe their parent intended. But you cannot say what your parent intended to do if the parent did not do a will or do a trust. It's only you saying that yourself. Well, did you speak to mom? Did mom have a family meeting and say, this is what I intend to do? But she died or he died before that happened? No. You cannot say that's what they intended because they didn't say that. So it's in our own greed and our own minds that we're saying, well, this is what mom intended to do. I think this is what dad intended to do. No. If you do not get it in writing, then you cannot say this is what your parent intended to do. It says perceived inequities. Siblings may feel that the distribution of assets is unfair, especially if one sibling has contributed more to the care of the parent or if there are sentimental items involved. So sometimes your parent or somebody in your die, your parent, your brother, and it doesn't always have to be a parent. If your parent is gone and you have a older brother or older sister that is the power of attorney or so, that happens too. Disagreements because they'll feel, well, oh, you're in charge, but you want to take everything and we don't get anything. It's a very sad thing, Jester, because a lot of people, they talk about sentimental things. Sometimes your mom has a teacup set, just a teacup and saucer. It is china. And in the will, she did not specify who it's going to, if there's a will. And I want that teacup and saucer. But somebody else is going to look at me and say, you're not getting it because you already have this and you already have that. So then that brings more confusion now. But if mom or dad did a will and said, I specifically this for Claire because this she talked about that she liked it, so I leave that for us. And then there's no dispute where that is concerned. And they said sentimental reasons. Sometimes it's just a pen. Sometimes it's a handkerchief. It doesn't matter what is some item that they think that they want from the parents, and big fighting rules in things for that. And that's why I always encourage people. You may not think that the little things that you have means anything at all. It's when somebody die, you see everybody coming out with their fangs. Everybody coming out with their fangs because they want something. But I'm saying, my thing is, you are grown people. Their parents' money is not yours to begin with. And if they see it fit that in their lives they want to leave something for you, whatever it is that they leave for you, accept it because it's not yours in the first place. Am I wrong?
No, of course you're not wrong. But let me tell you again, before you reach further down the road with your art, what I realize happened to within these family settings. So let's say, for example, you may have a sibling. They may have a good enough job. They are the one that might be looking after the mother or the father or both. It kind of feels to them automatically that they are the one to benefit big time because they are taking on that responsibility of looking after the parents. And these are some of the things that create a lot of the chaos and tension in the family setting among siblings.
But like I said, the money is not theirs, it's not yours. And if that's why some people that have children and they have animals, they leave all the money for the cat, or the dog, and they leave it and get people to look after that animal until the animal die, because they see the nature of the children in what they are about while they are alive. So imagine when I die, the confusion that's going to take place. So that's why some of them, they don't leave money for their children. They may give them what a lot of us do. We give start to our children early in their life so that they can make something out of themselves. Either they add more money to it or do something to get a start. Because my money is not your money.
Yes, and you see, within the Grenadian culture, right, as compared to that of North America and some of the other international countries, we tend to, even if we have gray beard, you still could be living on a mommy and daddy's roof.
To make them go.
Unlike what happened over there.
18 years and you're gone.
That's what, and they will support you to find out. So if we had a culture of that nature, I don't believe a lot of the quarrels and things we have in now, between and among siblings. Yeah. Exactly. Everybody's seeking to have their own and yeah.
So it says different financial needs. Varying financial situations among siblings can exacerbate tensions, as those in greater need may feel entitled to a larger share of their estate. So my baby has checked in. Says good morning, Momsy. That's Marks.
Good morning. Oh gosh,
Well, he said great topic, Momsy. You're testing me out. You see, I'm living at one day. Oh, thanks for checking in, baby. That's my biological one.
Yeah.
Biological son. Yeah. So you see, some people, okay, like we say, you have children, and he says, good morning, Mr. Jester.
Good morning to you, my son. And my son, not biological. Adopted. Yeah.
So you see, some people, some children, they feel that, okay, I am the one that has less in all the family, so I should get more of what my parents have. But there's no law that says that, because as I said, the money is not yours. And if your parents feel that, okay, Jester is not doing so well, and all the rest of them are doing better than him, they have their businesses, they have their homes, and so. So I think I can give Jester more so that he can come up to speed with the rest of his siblings. That's up to the parents, not you. When I die, you say, well, I don't have much, so my parents should give me more. And I think too that if we all start thinking in the sense that, hey, I am going to work for what is mine, it's going to be better, because once you work and you know that what you had on job or you had on work that you did is what give you what you have. I don't think you're going to depend much on when your parents die to get what it is.
We need a lot of input from our listeners.
Chance the Game says good morning. Mary from Toronto is saying good morning. He just checked in. Just run
out the number, yeah.
If you're calling straight from North America, also it's 147-340-4189. You can do that straight or through WhatsApp. Please call, because this is not something that is simple.
This is a topic that we really need some feedback today.
Yes, because it happens every day, Jester.
Because let me tell you, and especially within our society, the next thing what I observe again within our settings, Claire, parents tend to have a thing about the last child.
Mm-hmm. Everything for the last child.
The last child. To me, the first and the last usually are the greater beneficiaries. Yeah. I don't know if you. To me,
two children.
Well, no, I'm not.
Like my baby boy is fast, so my daughter is the last.
Yeah, I was speaking in a case where it's more than 2 children.
Oh, okay. Then you have to explain that. Yes, because it's either you have an even number or odd number. Yeah. And so then people that have 3, 5, 7 children.
In the case of 2, I would say still the last. They tend to the last child. I don't know. I wonder why it.
If the last child is not performing the way that it has to, so that the parent can give something to them, the last child is a go rogue, is a bandit.
That is not. But usually I've seen it happen, right, Claire? Even if that's the case, still they still are able to exploit quite a lot from the parents. That special love that the parent put out for that last child, it is amazing, because I've seen it happen. Even if they know that child have taken the wrong route, but that child was able to convince them quite a lot and benefit so much from them still.
Well, yes, because they feel that this is the last crop. But I think and this happens when it starts from earlier, because that child gets almost everything that they want at that when they're the last, and it spoils them rotten. So when a parent is doing this to their child, they don't expect anything better, especially because that last child is like everything mom and dad has is mine. They start establishing that very early, even though their siblings are there. Nothing wrong with their parents, but they start, oh, I'm the last. and I'm getting everything that mom and dad has. Nobody gives you the authority to say that.
So what should be established from this whole thing is that children should not be setting their eyes
On the
on the parents'
No,
property.
get your
You should be
own.
looking to walk towards your own from a very early stage in your life. You should have such a mindset that you are going to be, as the Bible says, blessed is the child that have his own.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
I mean, if the parents are generous and they want to leave something for you when they decide that they go into the great beyond, it's something else. They leave that, but I don't think you have the right to sit there. There are people just that has their parents and they put them in a home because the parent is loaded beyond. They put them in a home, don't visit them, don't do anything, praying for death. So because they know they have an inheritance coming from that. And that again is wrong because your mother or your father, your parents looked after you from a very early age, which is our responsibility, by the way.
yeah.
It's a parent's responsibility to look after their children because we are the one that call them here. They didn't call us, as I always say. So you have to look after your children to reach a certain age that they can start looking after themselves. And by no means at all it is right for you to wish death upon me early so that you can get my money. And I feel that, and I know that children who get inheritance from parents that they didn't work for the money, it is not a good thing. Because they blow it, because they never really slave and put their all into to getting money from
Yeah, especially when it happened in a case that it did not happen like quite naturally, like
right.
you actually force it. In some instances, Claire, there are situations already where children try to get rid of the parents very, very quickly, even in a situation to death. And not just that, it happened with even in marriages too, to gain insurance money and all that kind of thing.
Yes.
So, but as you say, whenever things like that happen, they don't really prosper with it.
No,
they sometimes wonder how it really goes.
Yes.
How it goes.
So here's the other point. Strategies to prevent conflicts. So open communication, and communication is key in whatever it is, just whatever is a relationship, is a friendship, is a whatever, communication, because if you do not speak, nobody's going to know what you're thinking. So open communication. Parents should discuss the estate plans with their children while they are still alive. This can help clarify intentions and reduce misunderstandings after their passing. Now, this is a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing.
Let's look at it from both sides then.
Yes. So the good thing is that they open the communicate and say, okay, this is what I have. This is what I'm going to do before I pass. But then again, the child or the children that feel that they are being unfairly treated, then they start having grievances against the rest of, because that one is might get more, or this, and that's when they start taking out each other. So it could be a good thing that the parents are saying, this is what it is, what the intentions are, but it also could be a bad thing, because that's when sibling fight really starts. Because everybody is eyeing each other in the sense that, okay, you're going to get more than me, this is unfair, I'm going to fix you. And it happens. I've seen people die for less.
This thing is a very broad topic today, because all sorts of things happen. There are some instances where parents decide not to make a will, and they will tell that, like, if they have 2 children, they will say everything will be equally divided between the 2. And in some instances, it doesn't happen. Somebody always feel that they could more. They want 3/4.
Yes, especially the one that says, I used to go shopping with mom. I used to take mom to this place. So they feel that they're entitled to more. But that's not what she says. Equal. And that's why it's important just to have things in writing. And even sometimes you have it in writing and they, what do you call the word again? They do something. I can't remember the word. They contest it. They contest the will, or they contest whatever it is, because they feel that mom or dad didn't make that in a sound mind. They coerce her to write and say this. So it's a lot of things that it is. Now, I have 2 children. And I don't have money. For me, I don't have anything that I could give them. I gave them the start early in their life to do whatever it is that they want. But I would make a will. Because I don't want that fight that I see people. Because I tell you, when you see something happen, all claws come out, Malcolm, and say, "Well, I was first." Can you say, "Well, I stayed with mom"?
Yeah.
You understand? And things like that going on, and you cringe when you see what happens to people.
Yeah, some parents might be turning in the grave.
Right, like if they could turn.
Yeah.
Yes, because they didn't expect to see their children behave in that way. And I'm telling you, Jester, money could do a lot of wrong things to people. Somebody says, my grandmother always used to tell me, mother, mother have, father have. Blessed is the child that has its own.
Yes, and I mentioned that before. Yeah.
And that is true, because you have to learn to get what is yours. You cannot be dependent on your friend. If they feel in their heart that they want to leave something for you, it's fine. But you cannot go fighting the same that you want to kill your parents to get money from them. We'll have to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Oh, wake up, it's a new day. Got some things I need to say. Feeling happy, you're not alone. We take fiber in this phone. 26 come, what's the care? To take five, you look at your left. Love this small, strong to register. You should get present. I was listening to this night. Well, I mean, look at it. Smart body and food doctors and animals can like the intelligent soul of relationships and there's so natural. These are weekends of stars. Remember Sunday to Sunday and summer. The event of association and when the research of values is the event of behavior and Saturdays. And it looks to try to be end in some ways, just so you know, in this all Wednesday and fashion school. 19 to 9, like on the weekend, so it's 9 to 9, shopping snacks, snack bag.
At Sugar's Repair Services, we offer digitally calibrated machines, resurfacing engine heads, general machinery. Show us a pattern and we'll make it with precision machines. At Sugar's Repair Services, we satisfy your needs. Just ask and it will be done. Call us at 473-418-1865. Your mental health program with CJ and Jester. CJ and Jester.
We are back. And Big Dreams Mini Mart and Stationery Supply presents Christmas in the Garden on Saturday, November 29th at 5:30 p.m. On sale will be black cake, local soil and ginger beer, bread and ham, ice cream, pig food sauce, chicken and chips, baked chicken and pie with salad, lambi waters. There'll also be karaoke so you can go sing your life away. Come and enjoy the beautiful lights at the back of the Cadrona home for the 8th. So that will be on Saturday, November 29th at 5:30 p.m. So if you love the lights and you love action, check out Big Dreams Mini Mart in the back of the Cadrona home for all these events, the event and all the things that they have on sale there. So Jester, we welcome to Take 5, your mental health program with CJ and Jester. CJ and Jester. Okay, Jester, we are back now. And the topic that we're talking about this morning, which is siblings rivalry and how they fight to get what it is that the parents have, and it is not a good thing because just I heard of a situation where a mother died father died. And of course, there was a will. But some of the children contested the will. And they fought so hard with each other that when everything was sorted out and everybody get their share, who dead, they didn't enjoy what it is that they got. Because they used so much of their stress or so much of their life stress to fight for these things, and they still did not benefit from it. So that should only teach us a lesson that whenever you have something that is your own, especially, it is good to get your own so that no one can take it away. Nobody cannot fight with you for it, because, as he says, blessed is the child that has its own.
Correct. Yeah, and I believe that what we need to be instilling in our young people. You don't just, stay by the side and start eyeing your parents' property. You should be looking to, develop yourself educationally, equip yourself to on a nice livelihood and on your own in life.
I don't know.
That should be the mindset.
If you remember, it's years ago. I don't know if you heard the story about the Mendes brothers.
No.
They're in jail still. I think they were petitioning for them to come out. Both of them. And the parents had money and all this. Both of them planned on the massacre the parents. It was very bloody. It was very brutal. And they afterwards they claimed that they were abused and all this kind of thing. But I think it was because they know the parents have money and they find the parents taking too long to die for them to get the money to do what they want, because they wanted fast cars, they wanted this, they wanted that.
Or they might have been making certain demands to them too, but the parents wasn't yielding to it.
Exactly. So they murdered them. And they're rotting in jail now. And even, I don't even know what happened if the parents had what happened to the estate or anything, because they're not benefiting from it because they're sitting in Islam.
Sometimes, who knows, sometimes they are giving up these things and them to charity, sometimes them people give it up to church or something.
Yes. Because it is not something that you should do, murder your parents to get money so that you can live the fast life or whatever, because it is not yours, and I can't stress that hard enough. It is not your money. Your parents' money is not yours. Work for your own. I'm not saying that the parents shouldn't give their children a starting life, and if they're struggling, help them out, That is not what I'm saying. What we are saying is that when your parents pass and they leave things behind, if there are 5 of you, why can't 5 of us come together and sit and say, okay, this, after our parents are buried, or my mom is buried, your dad is buried, this is what's left after we clear up everything yesterday, and we're going to share it equally among ourselves. Why can't that happen?
Well, in addition, what we are saying too, you don't sit back in life, you just live your life carelessly and just expecting to just benefit from what your parents have. That should not be your way of operating.
True. So it has another point that says clear estate planning. It says creating a detailed will that specifies how assets are to be distributed can prevent ambiguity. Using trust can also help manage the distribution of assets effectively. Independent executors. Appointing a neutral third party as the executor of the estate can help mitigate conflicts, as they are less likely to have personal stakes in the decision made. Mediation. If disputes arise, siblings can consider using a mediator to facilitate discussions and help reach a resolution without resorting to legal battles. And another thing again, when they have that battle that this one wants this and this one wants more and everything like that, and you hire a lawyer or somebody, the amount of money that you had to get up front, you're no longer getting that money again, because you have to pay a lawyer to clear up the mess that is being made. So I think it is the best thing for you all to come together as siblings, sit and discuss it and say, okay, this if you all think that I did much more for my parents, and you say, okay, Claire was there for our parents most of the times we weren't there, and you want to give me a bigger portion of the thing, it's up to you all. You understand what I'm saying? Not me to say, well, I did most of it and I did it, so I'm supposed to get that. No. When it says,
let me ask you, what do you think about in some instances, some parents who make their will, they might use maybe, let's say, an elder sibling of the family to be the executor. Where some others will use somebody neutral to be the executor of the property. What
I think because we now know the issue that takes place with when a parent and anything, get somebody neutral. That person has no stake in what's taking place there. Because the person that they make the executor of the will, the rest of them are going to come at them like...
Yeah, and they will feel like, some form of... It wasn't justly done.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's better that you get somebody that is not related to us at all, as he says, a mediator or somebody neutral in the whole thing, because you don't want to be getting in the firing squad of the rest of your siblings, because then it is not pretty.
And folks, we are not saying for you to do it. That's just our opinion on the whole thing. Got to make that very clear.
Well, based on what it's saying here, we are going by what the points that the research shows, that a lot of that, somebody, right, what the research are we going on that is not on what we saying for our own. Me personally, I would know what I'm doing with my will when I make it with my children. You understand? You have to know what it is. And it says that you should discuss it, what is in the will, or tell them what they expect and everything like that. According to who you have as children and how you know they will react, you try not to say anything, because the war starts right there. You understand?
Yeah.
The war will start right there. And it is not something, sometimes they take you out before you're ready to go. If you understand what I'm talking about.
But the thing is clear. How is it that a child or one of the siblings have to contend with or battle with another that just happen to come and just making a war and feel sometimes in some instances they even want the sibling to get out of the way. They don't have that right, but yet still they come along as if they have that right to something like that. Oh, this is difficult to deal with, you know.
Oh, yeah. Let me say good morning to Rejuvenate. Thank you for checking in. Yes, it is difficult. But the thing is, Jester, you have to know it. And maybe I'm wrong. But you have to know, and you have to see where that child or that children of yours is leading at a very young age. Because if you have children, right, and they have toys, they have theirs, and they want mine, that is an early sign, you know. I don't know if you will pay attention to this, but this is a very early sign that what I have, you always want it and you don't want me to have anything. So that, and you as parents have to not say anything but pay attention to that, and especially if you try to guide them away from this, and it's not happening, you would know that when you pass, if you do not make a will or you don't have a trust, that child is going to be a bit of a bother for the rest of the siblings.
Yeah, so in other words, you're saying that as parents, you should be seeing the signs
very
of something from some children.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then you're supposed to know how to deal with this.
How to do your will or your trust. And I've been understanding lately that trusts are more solid than will. Because children can contest wills. But if you put a person in trust, nobody can move you. So before we start going to make wills and look at different avenues of how you can do it to solidify what you do when you, because sometimes you will say you have 5 children and you will think that the 5 children is going to unite at the end of it all, and 4 will kill 1. And then after the 1 is gone, they're still fighting against themselves and they're taking out each other until the one that really wants everything has it. But then in the end, you still don't have it because the stress of fighting for it is going to kill you.
You know, what amazes me is like, okay, when, a couple get married, they start having children, you grow up your children to to love each other, look out for each other. And then later on in life, I know of siblings that are actually bitter with each other over parents' properties and things.
But it's not theirs. You said it's not theirs.
And it's just so sad. So sad.
Yeah, I know. It's very sad. But the whole truth about it is greed.
Yes.
It is all, it boils down to
one of
greed.
the pointers in the
That's what the point of
greed.
You're not satisfied with the lot that you have in life. And even though you're doing well, you always want more. And more doesn't do much for you. Because what can you do? Like I said, you have 4 cars, you could only sit in one and drive it. You have 10 pairs of shoes, you could only wear one. You have how many beds in your house, you could only sleep in one at a time. So the thing is, why are you putting yourself through that stress for more when you could be content with what you already have and you're living happily with it? And if we don't get rid of that greed that we have in us, it's going to destroy a whole lot of families.
I think that's a key word in what is some of what creating the problems in within these family structures when it comes to that day. That of greed. They just like they want everything. That person want everything for themselves.
And even though they want it for themselves, they involve their children. My children could that, but your children was nowhere in the will. What portion and whatever portion you were allotted in the will, share it with your children when you get it. You cannot involve your children in a will that their names were nowhere in the first place. And we have to, and I'm so happy that we're doing this program, Jester. I'm learning about it myself, and the person that gives us the topic, you better call. Call.
I don't really call, but just make certain comments.
Make your comments online. Because it is bad. It is really bad. And you see it every day. You hear about it every day. And a lot of us sit here, and you and I could be sitting right here, Jester, saying that, we could unite. Like your mom has how many children?
9.
And when she passed, so I know that you all are uniting like anything. I have to say kudos to you on that.
You know why? Because she didn't have anything.
That's the thing. That's the beauty of it. When you don't have anything, your children don't have to fight for anything. You come together and you bury her and do whatever. You have nothing. But the minute you have something, it's when all hell break loose. And it is a sad, sad thing because at the end of the day, Jester, with all that we fight for, it stays right behind when we're going in that box.
Oh, yes.
It says right behind. When you could have just enjoy what you have, enjoy life with whatever you have, and you're okay with it. But when you're fighting, you have no sense of happiness, no nothing, because you're always in a fight and you're wondering, well, what I could do to take her out so that I could get her share. No, it is a sad thing.
Yeah, very sad indeed.
Here it says common inheritance dispute with family members. Fights about money and estate assets are very common among siblings after parents die. This fight can cause lasting harm to family relationships and result in lengthy legal challenges and expensive legal fees. That's when they cannot come together and say, okay, we're going to do it this way and we're going to do it that way. And they have to get a lawyer because somebody has to come in the middle of it. It says disagreements over asset distribution. Siblings may have different views on asset distributions, particularly when the parent's will is vague. I think we read that already. Yeah,
did we?
I think my thing went up. Yeah. Okay, it says one sibling's perspective on the parent's true wishes or rightful inheritance may be entirely at odds with another sibling's perspective. A sibling can bring legal action and challenge a will when such disagreements arise. So even though a will is done and that person feels that, hey, I think I didn't get enough, they can challenge that will.
And we all of all sorts of things when it comes to will. We hear of some will that was done illegally, some that was...
And then It has children, Jester, that they say like I be maybe looking after my mom. And I find when I'm the one I'm looking after her in a state when she's coherent. I'm saying, let's go to the lawyer and put my name as the person to get
Why
this.
till after that usually happen, clear?
Yes, put my name so I could get all of this and then the rest of them boo-hoo there and get it. But because you see, my mom went to the lawyer and she signed off on it saying that Claire should get everything that she has. And that is wrong because it's like they manipulate the person to go right and
because by that time, sometimes the parents start
they're losing the sense.
start losing the sense.
Yes, the mouth is kind of gone.
Yeah, they lose that kind of resistance and going down in age, so they somewhat at that time easy to be manipulated in that sense, and that is the opportunity. One of the siblings may choose to do that to influence such, and that is just so wrong. And quite a lot of that happens, that create a lot of problems.
That's for sure. It says property disputes. Somebody's calling. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. It said it's connecting. Why is saying it's connecting? I think the internet okay, let me call you and see if it's gonna work. Because it is saying connecting here. Okay, let's see if you can call. Unless person call back, let me see what's going on here.
Just in case you're just joining us, you are listening to Tick 5, being featured every Tuesday morning between the hours of 10 to 12 with CJ and Jester, your host.
Olivachi, if you're listening, call us back, please, because your number did not save here because we didn't get to answer. Call again, Olivachi, because we really want to hear what you have to say in reference to what we're talking about this morning. I think I have a number, Let me see if I can get it and call it back. But yes, Jester, if you're listening, Olivachi, give us a call at 473-404-1189. I think, let's see if it's gonna work here. The number did not save. So yeah, so a lot of people, a lot of children when they contest.
Did you disconnect the engagement of the phone
I
from
did.
there?
Yeah, I did. A lot of it's off.
No, right.
Okay, I lied because I just don't put the volume down. So a lot of children when they contest will and all this kind of thing from their parents, it shows that they do not have any love, as you see, for their siblings. Because as you said earlier, when you have children, you teach them to love one another and everything like that. Let's see if we get it now. I don't know why it's ring once. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Good. Thank you for calling in.
I want to put my intake on that.
Go ahead, say what you're telling me. Go ahead.
Okay. I think it's important to make a will because I, for one, was not interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
Because before my husband passed, he made a will. I read it, yes, but I did not do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
Not until before he passed away, what he did on the will is like, he gave me something, yes, which I didn't care about it, because I said I didn't want a will.
Mm-hmm.
But he made a way that my kids were not involved in it, because he said they had everything, they don't need anything.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So he put the other kids, if one to take care of me after he left, he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened before he died, the kids came to the house. And they said to me, this is my house and you cannot put me out of it for no reason.
Wow.
Understand?
Wow.
So he looked at me and he said, Mary, you have to make that will. He said, you have to make the will. Because if not, this case will put you out of the house, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And with that, he called his family and they made the will. I don't know what he put on it, but he said to me, it's better to just give them the money, whatever, but do not allow them to have anything to do with the houses. And I thank God that he did that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he didn't do that, I'll be out of the house, because he said they will put you out. And they came to do that.
And that was before.
You know, even now, they're still trying to do that.
Wow.
Okay, Carla, so
But the will was done before he died.
Carla,
And I thank God for that.
just sticking up in a bit.
I mean,
Hello?
it's good to make a will.
Hello?
It's good to make that
Yeah.
will.
Hello?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
Hold on. Hello?
I think she already had it. Yeah.
No, what I want you to be clear about, because you're speaking about
Not her
my
children.
kids.
Not
Yeah,
her
so
children.
it means that, okay, so that husband had children with her, and he also had children on the outside with
Yes.
other women on the outside.
Yes.
So it's these children that
came to say
that
the house
came
is theirs, and yeah,
with-
and he wasn't even dead as
Right.
yet. So that
Okay.
should only tell you that when he passed, they were going to really put out, and like she said, they're still trying to do that. But you see, it is good to. That's what we're hearing. It is good to make a will, because although they can contest it, but sometimes it does not hold water to stand in court. Because if you make a will and you say exactly what you want in that will, it is hard for somebody to overturn it unless it's a fraudulent will. Unless you made the person made the will on the dress, that they do not have they're not coherent enough to say that this is what it is. They bring them on their last leg when they do not know anything and make them sign it. So you see, people, if you are listening, it is very important that you make a will before you cook, because children can be vultures. Not all, but the children, like I say, you can see from very early in their age, in their years, what they can do or what they're up to. Because if they're not sharing anything they have with their siblings and they grab onto everything that is there, that's just an indication of what is going to be later on in life.
Yeah. The next thing, Claire, what I don't believe in, I don't believe that parents should reach to a stage in their life when they on the dying bed to give children what they're supposed to give them. I don't. For example, with me, I've already given my first son Mount Craven as a deed of gift.
Mm.
I don't believe you have to be on bed reading and you have to have a set of white beard in your face and your back bend with a walking stick. No, I'm telling you. I'm
Okay.
telling you. And maybe even if that has been done so early, some of the problems would be alleviated as a result if you make these decisions and early and give what you have to give to your children while early in life.
Okay. So that's your take on it, right?
Yeah.
So you're right in a sense, but then again, the parent has to see that person, that child is responsible enough to do that. Because there are some parents, like let's take the prodigal son. Let's use that as the prodigal son. He asked his father for his inheritance, right? The father gave him. He left. He went and he lived his life. And when he didn't have anything else, he came back home. The father took him back home. So a lot of children can be like that. They ask for the inheritance, they get it early, they blow it, and then they come back home and put their parents under all kinds of pressure to give them things that they already got. Which is going to be unfair to the rest of the children that are in the home.
But that shouldn't really be at all,
No, we're talking about we're talking about the siblings rivalry, right?
Yeah. But what I'm saying, well, I mean, they shouldn't have to come back and stress out their parents. That ain't happening. They already get to manage it.
That happens.
Yeah, I'm not saying no.
On a daily basis, children, they get what they have to get and they come back because they blow it out, they do whatever, they buy fast cars, they spend money, they had friends when they had money, when the money run out, they're on their own. So the next move they had to be, instead of being homeless, they go back home. But then go back home in a humble way, they go back home to create havoc with the parents and put pressure on the rest of the children that what they're supposed to get. Because as a mother, as a father, as a parent, no one wants to see the children suffer. And it's going to be in your heart of hearts to help that child when that child come back.
Claire, I also believe while you are growing up your children is what you are instilling in them as well.
Well, yes, we know that.
Frankly so.
But then you say we make sure we don't make their minds.
Well,
some children go still astray from whatever it is. Like you grow your son, you teaching him the right thing every day. Maybe he may not swear in front of you because you tell him respect, no swearing. But when he meets his little friends and everybody's swearing and he's not, pressure on him, peer pressure, he's starting to swear out a blue streak and somebody come to you and he said, Jester, I hear Giovanni let go some Bible down the road. They go say, Claire, what are you talking about? Giovanni don't curse. But you see, sometimes it's not what you teach them they're coming with. And I don't think the majority of us as parents teaches our children to be greedy, because most of us as parents, we do not have much, and we distribute whatever we have among all our children. So it shouldn't be that, you're fighting to get more than what I can give.
No, that ain't happening. Because the thing is, if you have to give that child something, you have to put them sit down and say, look, I am giving you that start in life. You are to manage your affairs properly so that, you can bring in more investment on what is being given to you. That's your responsibility to take charge of.
Easier said than done. Easier said than done. Because when you are done and all, Jesse, you're thinking about that. You're not thinking about, oh, well, I already got my portion of the inheritance that my mom or my dad was leaving for me, so I cannot go back home and fight for it. No, because you're done and out. As I said, young man catches a straw.
Yeah, but the thing about it, not that you might not be prepared to help again. It depends on the circumstances. Sometimes, yes, you could see they make a real concerted effort, right, to advance themselves. Mm-hmm. And along the way, they made a little hiccup.
Yeah.
So, and they need a little, a little push.
Yeah,
you don't mind under the circumstances. But you can't come and tell me you go squander out my time and do leave.
And they come in and sit down, they're not doing anything, and you have to look after them. That's
not happening.
So here it talks about property disputes, whether to sell or keep the family house. So many disagreements can arise when it comes to an inherited home, such as whether a deceased parent's home should be sold or siblings should keep the family home for sentimental reasons. Another problem could be a sibling wanting to force a sale of a deceased parent home where another sibling lives. There are many ways to resolve inherited house disputes. For example, the sibling wishing to keep the family home can have the property appraised and offer to buy out the other siblings at current market value. Forced sale may also be an option if a buyout or other resolution is not possible. Keeping the property to generate rental income is another option. So again, you may have a house and you have 5 of us. One says, sell it. The other 4 says, no, we're not selling it. And that's where big fight starts again.
Yeah.
Because he wants his portion. So then, in that sense, if the others are in a position where they can pay him out, give him his money, and let him go, he's no longer part of that. But here's the kicker. If the other 4 does that, and then another one come up later on and say, I want my money too. So it is a never-ending battle. Unless you are a good communicator, unless you are together, then you have everything that you want in life and you're not making a big fuss about it.
Yes. And that's the thing. But I believe these are decisions that should be made very early. So the house has been left, you realize you all have other places to live and you want to sell your house, all decide and sell the house and divide the money equally, that everybody get a portion.
Right. Yeah, that could work, but does it really work regularly?
That's the problem.
That's the thing. You see, it's good for you and I to say that out loud, but you do not know the way people think a lot of the time.
That's it.
Because they could say yes now, and then when they see the amount of dollars that is flashing, they change their mind. And said, I want that, and this is what because mom says, I was mom's last child, and I'm supposed to get that because, mom, I'm the last of the whole brood of you. But that didn't last doesn't mean anything.
Or some little gossip, been come upon, just cause the person to now change the whole mindset on how they want to react towards the rest, and just decide what I want my share, and I want it now.
Now.
Yeah.
No. Yes.
It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing.
No. So you have your executive conflicts. The executor or administrator is the personal representative of the estate after your parents dies. The personal representative has a lot of responsibilities, including managing and distributing assets of the estate and communicating with the estate beneficiaries, that is the children and whoever else they leave the money for.
Yeah.
If your parent died without a will, you and your siblings may disagree over who should apply to be appointed to administer your parents' estate. If your parent died with a will that appointed an executor, you and your siblings may disagree with the executor's decisions. See that?
Yeah.
That is particularly true if only one sibling is appointed as the executor, or if two siblings are appointed and can't agree with each other. Resentment and feelings of power imbalance or mistrust are common when only one sibling or two siblings jointly are appointed as executor to the exclusion of other siblings. A mediator or skilled estate lawyer can help resolve disputes among executors and beneficiaries. Court proceedings to challenge or remove an executor may be necessary if there are serious problems. So you asked me earlier about, okay, Coffee is trying to call and he's saying he's not getting through. So let me see if I could call Coffee because he wants to make his consideration. Oh, let me see who's coming in. Good morning. Hello. 1 second, please. Go ahead. Good morning to you. How are you? Why isn't it working now? I think this is bad. 1 second, please. I think that.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. You hearing me now?
I'm hearing you now. Go right ahead.
Great. Good morning, Claire. How are you, Jester?
Good morning to you, sir.
All right. Fantastic program.
Thank you.
All right. Listen, this whole will and all of that stuff, that is a mountain as tall as Mount Everest for some people.
Mhm.
I can speak on my own personal experience with it. My family has family lands, and it is one big ripe mess. Yeah, to the point where there's even strangers on it, and on all kind of thing. This is one big mess. I am a very good proponent to say I live in a will. However, if you leave somebody a will and they will the document and they have the document, everything is okay with it. Just say it's okay, right? Everything's good. The amount of expense you have to go to probate that will, to get the property in your name and all of that stuff. If you don't have money, you can't do all of that either. Yeah? So that's another stress.
That's
right. There's other ways of getting that property into your name without you having to spend a bloody penny. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, that taking the parents and the siblings, everybody having a concise discussion when that person is alive. Yeah?
Mhm.
I like to talk about death, but death is part of the life cycle.
Oh,
So
yes.
you must die. End of story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unpleasant to talk about, it's unpleasant to even contemplate or think about, because all the emotions and sentimentals that's built into us as humans. We have feelings. Yeah?
Mhm.
But if we can park those feelings for a hot few minutes, we can get a lot of things done. So very my mentor, my father figure, showed me a way that says, okay, you have one son, two sons, whatever, you put their name on whatever you're giving them immediately. So if you have monies in your account and you have many different accounts, and he says, okay, this is for John, put John's name on it. My name is still on it, but John's name is on it too.
Right.
As a co-owner.
Mhm.
And go down the list. So today or tomorrow I pass, all they need to do is go to the bank and say, hey, my father has passed, only my name alone on the account. And I have full sign and privilege. There's no transitions to be happening, nothing to happen. It is mine. You understand what I'm saying?
It's true.
And the same thing you can do with property. This is mine. I'm not putting my son's name on it because he's going to be having, it all depends on the sums of money you may have tax, ramification for that person's name being on it, right? So all of these things you need to know. So it all depends on the situation. Needs to be, and this is where I'm saying if large sums of money involved, you should really and truly talk to a lawyer and a financial planner. There's many other ways to transfer monies from one person to the other without giving it as a gift or anything like that. And you have the tax implications. Imagine stocks and bonds and all these different things that person may have in their portfolio. How do you do it? How do you defeat that? Yeah, and trust me, there's a lot of families going through this right now.
Yes.
So for me, I think is that the parent needs to have honest and open communication with their children. Some children don't even know how much money the parents make or how much money they have and where it is. Much less to find it. Think about it for a minute. Yeah. I mean, I had a cousin of mine died here in Grenada, and he has kids off the island, and nobody knows how to contact them.
Wow.
And he has property in other Caribbean islands. He has property in other countries that I know of, and none of them knows how to get to it.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because that information was not shared.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know of it because we used to communicate and talk, and I keep telling him, I said, listen, you're doing this wrong. You need to take care of this. Oh, I have time. Oh, I have time. Who told you I have time?
Exactly. Time doesn't make humanity.
Exactly. Who told you you have time? You know, Jesus said, you know not the hour, the time of the day.
Yeah.
So how can you now say you have time? You don't know. You're clueless. And you're operating blind. So this is where I'm saying, you see, this type of conversation I had with my children early. And I told them, my son the other day called me and told me, Dad. I said, yes. He says, I have something to ask you. I said, okay, ask away. What you leaving me for my inheritance? Okay, so you're listening? Yes. You see, all my good friends laughing? That was my initial response. And I said, let me tell you something. If there's a way I can do as soon as I say, Nicholas, thank you very much. You served your time, come home. Ching, the last cent would spend.
Yes.
There's no way for me to do that. At that very moment, the last cent would be spent. Yeah, and it's gone. Yeah. I think I've done everything for you. I've educated you. I supported you in all your endeavors you're trying to do. Some may mess up, some may succeed, some may did not do so well. That's okay. That is life. Yeah. Don't sit around and say, listen. I said, no, I will enjoy myself. I will take care of myself to the best of my ability to be there. I close my eyes.
I got you, brother. I got you.
Right? I've done everything to help you. I made sure you didn't want education, you want to go and do it. Okay, fine. Yeah. And that's the way it is.
Yeah, but it's important to make you know, you
don't if I close my eyes and you collect this and collect it. It does not exist. It does not exist. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why
I make sure I've taken, I don't want to leave myself here to be stinking and disturbing the neighbors, so I made arrangements so I can be disposed of.
I got you. It's most important.
In a manner that is fitting.
Yes.
In a manner that is fitting. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So when that time does happen, nobody, oh guys, you go there and stand in the corner with a sheet saying, help by so and so. Yeah, go for me. Yeah, it's already taken care of. You see, these are the type of things. This is open them. I always tell my wife and I have comfortable conversations.
Yes.
And that's when you start looking at things and opening your eyes and understanding where you are with everybody in your life and in your relationship.
Mhm.
That's basically what we're speaking about here. Sibling
Yes.
rivalry would be all that. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, my mother, real cases, she is having issues with dementia and Alzheimer's and all of that stuff. She cannot live on her own.
Right.
So guess what? And my two sisters who's living here, and I cannot agree who, what, where, and when. She's now in a home. But she
Uh-huh.
has put in financials in place to take care of herself.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she is in an assisted living room where she can come and go, but she cannot leave because she will not be able to find her way back.
Yes.
Right? And it happened before, so that scares into everybody that, Lord, listen, she cannot be on her own, so that's the best place. So all of these things I'm say is that put your financial, your whatever in order.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Mhm.
Some people say they have jewelry and this child like that one, that child like that one.
Put it in right
Spell it
in.
out. Do it out.
Yes.
Right? Now, the last thing I will say, you see, here in Grenada, a lot of people think the thing, just because I am executor of a will, I have rights to do whatever I want
Oh.
with it. This is the biggest fallacy being spread out there. I don't understand why. No, you do not.
No, you don't.
Your role is to exercise the last will and testimony of the deceased.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes. That's it. No more.
That's it.
Yeah.
You can't go and change. Oh, well, Tom is really down on his luck, so
That's
I
not
can't
his
give
business.
Susie all that money. I'm going to give Tom a little bit of it. No, you cannot do that.
Nope. Nope.
That's illegal. That's fraud. You will go to
Yeah.
jail.
Yeah. Yeah. Or yes, in some instances, some
you will
things
go
that
to
look to
jail.
benefit from
The other thing I'm seeing here is that, you know, a week before somebody dies, the will change. That's a red flag.
Yes.
Right
Yes.
there and then.
That's
That's a
a
red
red flag.
flag.
A big one.
That's a red flag. Somebody needs to, that's where, so no, a whole bunch of money got to spend with some stranger who doesn't know anything about you guys, and you have to go through a whole bunch of crying and trial and tribulations now because of these bad feelings this thing's going to manifest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? And not just bad feelings, you know, people going to the grave, hating and all
Yeah.
these things. You understand?
Yes.
So
Yes.
who's getting sick, who's all kinds of things because all kinds of old hurt is now dug up and brought back to the surface. Hurt that was scabbed over and not bleeding anymore. All of a sudden, the scab is taken away and is a fresh wound all over again. So this is what I'm saying. Parents, yes, you may be 30 something, 40 something. Start having these discussions early. And this, I think, is what's happening a lot, causing a lot of these children these days to not have any respect for the children or understanding. Some of these parents are working dead hard to support the lifestyle these children live in.
Answer. That is so wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, working 2 or 3 jobs, trying to satisfy these children wants,
Mm-hmm.
not needs, you know, wants.
Once. Yeah.
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 Yes.
So I know a parent bought a whole brand new car for a child, and the next day is wrecked. It's damaged.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know, mom, dad, not don't worry about that. What do you mean, don't worry about it?
Plus, can get again. That's
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No appreciation for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the sacrifice that mother put out for you to have that car. And in 2 seconds, he just wrecked it and he's like, don't worry about it.
Yeah. And I tell you, that's small thing.
But I'm
Exactly.
telling you seriously, I believe in some instances, some parents are grooming some children to be irresponsible.
Of course.
Very,
Of course.
very irresponsible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything you see you want and you present it. No, you made no effort to attain it yourself and no effort to participate to come up with the resources that you needed to get it. You know, and one last thing I would say here. When I lived abroad, there were many of the families on the street was Italians on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they did not put the children out at 18.
No, they didn't. No.
Yeah. However, the children contributed to the household.
What they have?
But here's what mommy and daddy did. That money you contributed did not go in the house. It went into a bank account.
Accounts, yeah. Yeah.
And when you decided that life is life and you want to get married and all that stuff, that was a down payment on a house.
Exactly. And you know, I've learned that in the
That's a down payment on a house.
Yes,
That
yes.
was furniture for the house.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what
That is a
Italians
brand new
would do.
car.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I remember when you were your children born in Toronto, the government used to give you every month they give you a certain amount of money based on your salary and stuff.
Exactly. Yes.
So I used to get for my children, and I said if they weren't giving that to me, I still had to look after my children. So I opened that bank account, and every month it didn't even come home anymore. It went straight into the account. So when it was time to go to college, and so they had money to go. Because you were looking after your children. You had to look after your children if the government wasn't giving you that money. So I've learned that very, very early on in my days because according to who you work for and they talk about it, you don't ask questions, but you pay attention and you say, okay, this is one way I can do things to help my children. And a lot of us are not doing that these days.
So this is what I'm saying to you. If you come back to the Grenadian context, right? You are 20-something years old. You're working. You're living in your mother and father's house. The mother and father is paying all the bills in the house. You're eating from your mother and father still. What you doing with your money? If you even know you're making minimum wages, which is $1,200, what are you doing with that $1,200?
Party. Let's close
You understand what I was saying to you? And so this is why I'm saying the parents need to go to that child and say, hey, listen, you're working now. You need to take some responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be responsible for this.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
You know what is the beauty of this? They're staying home. They're not paying rent. They're not doing anything. The moment you open your mouth and say you have to contribute towards that, they find something to rent.
All kinds of things. Well, exactly. And now we talk to that. Okay, I hear you. I have to pay for this and I have to pay for that too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it doesn't come free.
Exactly. You need to contribute back into the house now.
Yes.
So figure out how you're going to pay for this and pay for that and still make the contribution.
Yep.
I do it every day. Why can't you not do it?
Exactly.
Too. Yeah? So this is why I'm saying to you, that comes to a different point. We need to educate our children on financial literacy.
Yes. Thank you so very much.
Certainly.
You know, when you make your comments like that, there's nothing we could say after that because you cover all our bases. All.
Yeah, well, actually, I touched on some we have pointed out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope parents are listening. Sometimes please listen. Thank you so much, my brother and my friend.
Yes.
We shall chat.
Thank you so very much for that very valuable contribution.
Thank you. Later. Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, quite a mouthful.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is what he's saying is true to more according to the people, and we have to put that in our pipe and smoke. I'm going to get coffee now, so let me see if he's going to, because he wanted to contribute. Here we go. Call. Let's see.
So that was exactly my point. He did make mention of speaking to your children and giving them things very early in their life. Made mention of that.
I'm calling coffee. Good morning.
Coffee in the morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
By God grace, I'm doing good.
Good.
Well, I'm feeling that coffee kind of cold this morning.
Just no, but I was really trying manfully to get onto the program, but I did just troops in because these are the quality of topics that I really love. Right? When we clean up, you know. And you know the part that we always chatting about as it relates to the responsibility of parents as it relates to the children and children mismanaging what the children have. Have you really just enlighten my darkness a little bit on that?
Okay. Children, like we talk about the prodigals. We have children that are prodigal children right now. The parents, they ask if they know they are going to get an inheritance because we have trust fund children. They ask for the money and they go out, they blow it, they do everything. Their friends that they have leave them, everybody left them. And then they come home and sit there. And I think I said when they come home, they are coming up to put pressure on the parents now because the parents now have to sort of look after them all over again, and it's unfair to the rest of the siblings that are there with the inheritance that they have to get, so they're eating out of that.
They come back to be parasitic on the parents.
Parasites.
Come again, Jester?
I say they come back to be parasitic on the parents.
Yes.
Many are parasites.
Yeah, and basically this is really total unfair for all the other individuals who are living in the household.
Yes.
You understand? And there is no law. Even though yes, the rest of the children in the household love him, but there is no law to prevent them from being bitter. You understand what I'm saying? Because the whole thing about it, they gave you took what you had, you went, you squandered, and then you came back home now to be a burden to the rest of us.
That's the correct way.
That did not have the opportunity to receive what you received there.
Exactly.
You understand? And the very little that left for us to enjoy. Is it fair for you to come now and be a burden to us? You understand? And I always say, and I will always continue to say, Coffee and Jester, and to the listening audience, most of the time, parents is responsible for what many of the children are doing today. Because, listen very carefully, do you realize that if a mother has 5 children, the one that behaved the worst, the one that give the most headache, the one that disrespect the mother and disrespect the father, do you realize that is the one the parent dying for?
Of course. Of course.
Remember I was telling you that?
That's the one.
This is the one that the parents dying for. The one that making them shame in the public. The one that they doing not for home. Yes. But the one that's those who stand up there and respect the parents, and being the slave in the home. But yet that special love for this one, and it is unfair. I don't care how you put it. And most of the time, you find preferential treatment is going for this one. You understand what I'm saying? But I has my policy. I look at my children, and the first thing that I look at, your responsibility as it relates to what your father have. Your steadfastness as it relates to what your father. How do you man the responsibility? The respect to the parents. And not only that, the interest that you show in the family wealth. And this is the child that I am going to look at. You're going to be executor. You have to be the executor because you show the responsibility, whether you're a woman or you're a man. You stand up there and you take care of the family wealth. You is going to be the one that is going to make sure that everybody gets something, even your son. So that topic that you are on there is a wonderful topic. I close my case. Wonderful. Take care.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
2 big contributions back to back.
Yes. So here's good buddy Aito say. We talk about the will and how people who contest will. Remember I talk about trust.
Yes, yeah.
Aito says that's why you also have to get a trust. Once you have a trust that overrides the will and avoid you from going to probate. So that trust is as solid as the rock in Gibraltar.
But I wanted to explain the trust for people out there because I don't think much people really get it. If you could really explain it, they might tend to.
When you put somebody in trust, let me Google it so that everybody could get it. So, a trust.
Is that trust? Trust is like what we refer to as a trustee. Is it that case?
Let me see. Hold on. I know what it is, but I have to put it in. Okay. So a family we gone. What trouble is that? You just gone about the business? Uh, so a trust is really when somebody puts you in trust of the money. Like you alone that has access to it in that sort of way. And even though somebody come with a will and say, well, my my mom left this and she has a will, that will cannot override the trust.
Yeah.
No, because it is like ironclad. And that's why, as I said, I have to make a will. I'm changing my mind about the will and I'm going to a trust. Because you don't want anybody or the other child come and say, well, mom said this and mom. So it's a trust is a legal arrangement where a person, the guarantor or settler, transfers asset to a third party, the trustee, as you said, to manage on behalf of another person or people, the beneficiary. Trust allow for the management and distribution of assets during a person's life or after death, often to avoid probate, provide more control over how assets are distributed. You get the point, right?
Yeah, well, I get the point.
Right.
Of course I get the point.
Right. So this is what a trust is. So you appoint that person as a trustee to distribute money to the beneficiaries. So instead of doing what do you call it again?
So
Executor or something.
That was exactly where my question coming.
So the executor is the executor can also be the trustee, because that's the person you put in, and then the other siblings also cannot really go against that because it's a trustee in trust of.
But to me, trust is more when it comes. I wonder, am I getting the impression that trust is when it comes to more financial aspect of things?
Well, yes, if you have money
financial of the assets.
Yes, assets, whatever it is.
Yeah, but there are assets in different forms.
Well, if it's a house and the person in trust, well, the person they have a will or whatever it is, I'm not sure. But if you have that person as a trustee and you have the house and it says that, okay, the house is going to go to Candice, and Marco come and he says, oh, well, mom have 2 children and he cannot. So the trust that person that will say, well, no, this is what your mom says in writing, that the house has to go to that person or it has to go to you. So I think it's more than money. It says the trustee has the federal duty to act in the beneficiary's best interest according to the terms of the trust document, which is created by the grantor with the help of an attorney. So I think it's more than just dollars. Good morning, Jenny. Jenny is saying greetings from British Columbia. That is, yes, my girl traveling BC. She's over there.
Hi, Jenny.
Yeah. And she's 3 hours behind, eh?
Wow.
Yeah, so she won't be able to, she can't, she won't be able to, I think what time it is now is 11, 10, 9, 8 something is a time there, I think 8:47, something like that. It's 3 hours behind us. So yes, so it's coming down to the hour of noon. And thank you so much, Aito, for putting out that about the trust, because this is where I'm heading totally to the trust. Because if you could contest a will, because even my brother might be able to come and contest the will where my children are concerned too. You understand? Somebody else might come and contest the will and say, this is not what Claire wanted. So I said to myself, in my will, I'll put that, Claire, I want to be cremated. Right?
You see, I think what I get at, the trust has legal bearings behind it. That's
well, yes, they have a lawyer. They have a lawyer and they have an attorney. So that is double power you get in there now. You're out of your camera range. Sit up. Yes. So it says emotional attachment to items like family heirlooms. The family home or other personal belongings can cause tension. There is often only one of the item in question, making it impossible to divide. It can also be difficult to assign monetary value to sentimental property. Ideally, your parent will have provided the wishes for distribution of sentimental items, either in the will or in a memorandum. If not, there are several strategies to resolve sibling disputes, such as involving a mediator or neutral third party, selling the item and dividing the proceedings, or having siblings take turn choosing items they want to keep. And that's another thing that they can do too. Here, it says, I just said the trust covers all assets, not just financial, which is what I thought.
Okay.
So
All assets.
yeah, all assets. So now, if my mother has a cup that I like, right? I can, and it could be cause tension because Henson might also want the cup, Shamin might also want the cup, and we cannot share the cup. So now it's either we sell that cup and divide the money. But then again, it has sentimental value. The money won't do anything for me because the cup is gone. So that's where a lot of tension takes place. And a lot of tension takes place because of spite. If that person find, well, how they never wanted that cup. But because I got that cup, and they find all of a sudden the cup look good, they want the cup too, and that causes more rife in the thing now, because 3 of us wants the cup and nobody can have it. It's like the baby with Solomon, cut it in half and give me whatever and take that half. And the person that is not willing to give up on the cup, now everybody have to sell it. I would just say, here is the cup. I'll give them the cup because it doesn't make sense to sell it because the sentimental value is gone from it. Unequal financial contributions. So here, we talked about that earlier. Unequal contributions to the care of a parent, a family home, or a family business can create expectations for a larger inheritance. The parent's will may not meet those expectations. If you or your siblings believe the will is unfair, court proceedings can be brought. One type of legal challenge is known as a will's variation claim. If the court agrees that the will is unfair, for example, because it failed to recognize unequal contributions or live up to certain promises, the court can vary asset distribution in the will. Another option is an equitable claim based on unjust enrichment. And again, I think this is so wrong to go to court because the money that you have to pay for lawyers and, according to those people in England, solicitors, at the end of the day, you may end up with just $1, because all the money went into the court system and the lawyers are happy to take it from you, because if you're stupid and you cannot come together and solve the issue at home with the inheritance, then I'm going to take your money.
But then again, it beats me here, because if somebody make a will, a parent makes a will, he makes the will consciously and decide that is what he wants. But how it can be contested and the court can see it quite differently because they feel it's unjustly laid out.
Here's how you have to look at it. I established from the beginning that greed can do a lot of damage to people. Greed. Because if you're greedy and you're not satisfied with anything that you get, you will create all kinds of chaos in that family. Because you don't want the other person that is getting it to get more than you. It's as simple as that. You're too greedy. And that's all it is.
Yes. So for example, if I have let's say I have a blocks plant and I have 2 children, 2 boys children. But it was
Go ahead.
Is it ringing?
No.
There was one of the boys who always stood alongside me, who be there to help build it up and, always enhance it to make the business better. While one was just roaming the street. And I make my will ready to die, and I make my will clear.
Lorna is on the line. Good morning. Hi, morning. Hold on. My phone is...
Situation can be avoided, but first the parent must make a will.
Right.
Now, if the parent did not make a will, in my mind, the majority, let's say there are 7 children, the majority should rule. But even then, you may find that a few may not go along with the majority. And then for peace, you may have to give up your rights if you want peace, right? Now, you may give up your rights and that still may not work. Because then you might see that you may give it up, but you see your parents' property deteriorated. Nothing is being done. So in that case, it will be up to you. Do you want to come back and try to remedy the situation. So it really depends on the family because each family different. I had one friend, parents died, didn't make a will. I said, how did you decide? The majority rule. There might be another family where the majority might say one thing, but not everybody may accept what the majority say. So in each family, it is different, but the parents could avoid by making a will. And because of this situation, that has encouraged me. I made I would say a trust because my daughter is a special needs. So I have to put everything in trust for her.
Yes.
And early, I made a trust for her because I don't want, if something happened to me, I want to make sure that she's taken care of. And I don't want anyone to just come in and do whatever. So it's a few years now. I made a trust. Everything is in trust. I put my last sister, who I trust entirely, to take care of her if something should happen to her. So I think it happened to me. Yes, I think it starts with the parents. So I encourage parents in Grenada, make a will, make a trust, because it will avoid a lot of heartache after you're not here. You might think you want it to be a family home, but somebody still has to be in charge of the family home.
Exactly.
To pay the bills and make sure everything is. So you have to put it in writing. So I know you're almost finished for the day. Have a good day, and we'll talk.
Thank you, my friend.
Okay.
Thank you so very much.
Bye-bye.
Yes. See, that's what I'm saying. She has quite a long life in her still. I mean, except when God ready for her. But you see, she already, did what she has to do.
So
And
we have
that's
to.
the point I'm making.
Yes,
I said the parents want to when they on the dying bed and want to make, I don't
You
believe
can,
it's a
you can
trust.
actually make a living will, eh? You can make a living will. And the will is not in concrete. And if you say you have 3 children and you realize one is going to be a bandit and go rogue, you can remove that one from your will.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not in stone. You pay a fee every month to the establishment that it is, but you have a living will that you can make changes if you want to. So like if I have Miles and Candice on my will, and well, that's the only 2 I have to put on my will, and something happened to Miles, let's say he passed or Candice passed, then I could actually, and I'm still alive, I could actually change it, and because he's no longer there, and everything goes to Candice, everything goes to Martha. So you do this thing, and you have to follow what I says. I want to be cremated. Do not put me under no hole. End of story. And that's it. So it is very, very important, and we cannot stress this enough, because a lot of parents, as you say, wait the last moment, and then they say things, and I meant for this to go to that person. When the will is read and it is not in the will, you're that person that she intended it for not getting it, because she did not put it down in writing. It could go any which way.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people say, oh, my mother did, when she was alive, she said the house should be going to Jester and this person. When the funeral ends and everything is taken care of, and well, you expect that you're going to get the house because your mom is saying that, but the others say, well, no, we didn't see that in the will, so that is null and void. So that's why we have to write down what we mean and have it registered, that when it happens, you can present your paper and say, well, yes, mom did say that, and this is what it is. Because too many of us are ending up in situation where it is not conducive to our thing. So we come down to the last bit of it, and I'll go how to protect your inheritance from siblings. Lorna talked a bit about it, but let's go. There are ways to manage conflict. Protect your inheritance and avoid legal challenges. If there are red flags or warning signs when your parent is still alive, your parent can work with an estate planning lawyer to protect assets, smooth tensions, and ensure their final wishes are clear. People, listen to this. There are many estate planning options. For example, your parents these are things that they can do to make it straight and clear. Prepare and execute a clear estate plan, including a will or a trust. Let's see. Okay. Set up trust to manage property and prevent disputes. Prepare legal documents evidencing the intentions with respect to the estate. Example, carefully clarifying reasons why they didn't divide the estate equally among the children and all. Appoint neutral friends or relatives or a professional trustee to act as the power of attorney during their life as an executor during the probate process. If the conflict arises after your parents' death, calm communication and clear boundaries are essential. A frank discussion among siblings about expectations and concerns can go a long way to eliminating confusions, mending mending hurt feelings and easing tensions. So that's how it could be avoided if your parents did all that up front, especially when they see red flags waving in front of them. It says legal considerations. If conflicts escalate, it may be necessary to seek legal advice. Estate lawyers can provide guidance on how to navigate disputes and protect one's rights to inheritance. Additionally, understanding the probate process and how assets will be managed can help siblings prepare for potential challenges. So, all of that. So, by addressing these issues proactively, families can work towards a smoother transition during a difficult time, preserving relationships and minimizing stress associated with estate disputes. This is the end of our program. So, people, parents, brothers and sisters, whoever it is, if you know who your siblings are, what they give, start adding pen to paper at the lawyer's office. Start putting things in place so that if anything should happen to you, everything is taken care of. Because the fighting and the killing of one another and all this stuff does not make sense. Because at the end of the day, as Nicholas Snag says, we all die. And the things that we are fighting for is behind there and nothing and none of us can avoid it. I've never seen a house in the back of a U-Haul going to the cemetery. I've never seen. You see, there's a story that a man says you want all the money when he goes. They wrote a check and put in his coffin. He wanted all his money. So the things that we fight for on this earth, if you really think about it, you really sit and think about it, it doesn't make any sense. Enjoy it while you have it. And if your parents leave something in will for you, make sure this is what she or he, what they wanted you to have, and stop fighting for what your other brothers and sisters get. That's what they wanted you to have.
Like for me, coming out from this program, what I realized is that parents, they ought to sit with the children consistently, not just on a one-off occasion, instill in the children what some of the things that they would like to see happens, and you got to tell them they don't want them to be fighting, and they as parents have to put things in place that such thing does not happen, because it really doesn't look good when you grow up as brothers and sisters, looking out for each other, and then all of a sudden in life turn into adults.
No, in death. In death, not in life, in death. Because it's when people die is when you've seen all the progress.
No, not only in death, because it's happening in the situation. There are situations where it's happening and the parents haven't even closed their eyes as yet, and it's a big tension existing.
That is the red flag for them to stop waving.
So what I'm saying.
So you say thank you, Jester. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so very much once again for tuning in, and we look forward for you being part of the program next week, God's will. So long. My name is Jester Noel, just in case you missed it and you're wondering.
And I am CJ. And thank you so very much for all your comments. Alistair Dubois, thank you so much for checking in today and giving us all the insight. Jenny out there in British Columbia, enjoy it. I know it's not as cold there as it is in Toronto, so you dodged the bullet. Mary, Radio Man, Victor, Chance the Game, my son, my biological son, Kathleen Ledlow, Antonia Louis Dubois, Nicholas Snag, Bernadette Abraham, Neth in the Lane, Bernadette Abraham, Lorna Bain, everybody that partake in our Take 5 program this morning, thank you so very much. We couldn't do it without you. And all we're asking you is to share the link, like what we do, and subscribe. That's the only way we can continue doing what we're doing to the best of our ability. Thank you so very much. And we have come to the end. It is 3 minutes after the hour of noon, Jester.
Wake up, it's